Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Stryperdrive. I'm one of your hosts, Kent, along with my co-host,
Rex.
and we're welcoming back, one good friend, Leigh Spencer from Iridium Reviews. Hello, Leigh.
How you doing? You all right?
Doing good, buddy. Glad to have you back, as always a pleasure. And today, we're honored to have Mark Cloer with us. How are you this morning, Mark?
Great, Kent. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. And we know Mark from Leigh's channel, Iridium Rock, Metal, and Movie Reviews. We'll always post the description for that in our link. Mark is a regular guest on Leigh's channel. They chat up about many different bands, including Stryper. I know that Mark's a Stryper fan, and he's, just for the record, I think he's a better Stryper fan than Leigh. So, I'm going to come in. I've got to say, friends, whenever you watch this video, I'm coming in hot this morning, and here's why. On my time, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. That's why my eyes are bloodshot. And Leigh, for Pete's sakes, I still have me knickers on, mate. and me knickers are knackered. So I got to thinking, and I put my head down on my pillow last night. Now, friends, we're all friends here, and we love and respect one another. So take this for, I'm thinking, I'm laying my head on my pillow last night, and I'm going, leave it to my favorite atheist friend to wake me up at this ungodly hour. I love you, mate, but I was like, so it's 8 a.m. where I'm at, and where Leigh's at, he's at a comfortable 2 p.m. So, he's a lot bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So, welcome back, Leigh. We love you. Mark, great to have you. And
Yes.
Mark, we know Leigh's history with Stryper, his appreciation, but this is your first time on with us. And like we do with all of our guests, if you don't mind briefly, just tell us about your Stryper history, when you first encountered them, and what made them stick with you throughout all these years.
Well, I think I heard you say one time before, you were a KISS kid. I was definitely a KISS kid. First time I ever saw a picture of KISS before I even heard their music, I was a fan. I just, from a very early age, I gravitated toward hard rock, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it. I guess it was 84. A guy gave me the Yellow and Black Attack EP cassette. Actually at church, my dad was a minister. Actually at that time, my grandfather was a minister. He passed away. My dad took over the church. But anyway, in 84, a buddy of mine at church brought me the Yellow and Black Attack cassette. He said, I think you might enjoy this band. And I listened to it, and I can't say I was blown away by that particular album, but it piqued my interest enough that I kind of, continued to follow them. We used to have a local college radio station that had a hard rock show once a week. And shortly after Soldiers Under Command came out, they played that song on the college radio station. As soon as I heard it, I was hooked. They had just come so far since that early EP. And I immediately went out and bought Soldiers Under Command, and I've been hooked ever since.
And who can blame you, man? That album, I think, just grabbed, so many. Such a great album, great song. Speaking of great songs, guys, today, friends, what we're doing, we're looking at creating if we were to have a new best of album by Stryper, what songs will we choose for that? And meaning, this would particularly be songs from the modern years, 2003 through 2020. 1991, guys, of course, we remember it brought us a 12-song best of compilation. Can't Stop the Rock, 10 classic songs, 2 new songs with that. And then in 2003, we were delivered 7, the best of Stryper, 16 classic cuts, plus 2 newly recorded tracks. Those tracks were Something and For You, And those mark the first time in 12 years that the 4 original members recorded together in the studio. Now, being as the aforementioned best of compilations were culled from Stryper's classic 5-album catalog, today, friends out there who'll be watching this, we're focusing on the band's modern output, 2003 to 2020. And that modern output, guys, just looking at them, it features 8 studio albums. Of those albums, friends, what we're doing is we're each creating a new personal best of entitled For God and Rock and Roll, the Best of Stryper 2003 through 2020. And in this, speculative best of that we're each creating on our own, what songs would we wish or expect to find if Stryper were to release a best of focusing on the modern 21st century output? Now, also on the table, and Mark, our buddy Mark, reminded us of this. So also on the table are Something and For You, those then newly released cuts in 2003. So we're going to do 15 songs in total for this release. No live recordings, strictly studio material. We'll go around the horn as we always do. And Mark, I'm seeing you at the top, buddy, so you'll be the guinea pig first. We'll go around the horn, guys, and really briefly, if some of us may have these 15 songs culled just at random, they're just what we would expect to find or wish to find.
Ben, sorry, mate, I've got my fire alarm going off for some reason.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Leigh, out of curiosity, where did you go and where have you been and what you been up to? What just happened, mate?
My missus is at work and her daughter's been doing like hot chocolate with marshmallows in the microwave. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Still don't know what happened.
But your fire alarm went off.
Yeah, she's obviously burnt them somehow. The back door's open now, so.
It's a new concoction, hot cocoa flambe,
Yeah.
Well, glad you're all right, man.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't nothing serious.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Mark.
The
Are you all right?
fire alarm works.
Well, that's good to know too. Yeah.
I'm just checking the fire alarm, Dad. I'm just checking it out, So,
Sorry about
everybody good to rock and roll? Are you all right, Leigh?
that. I'm fine now, mate.
All right. Oh, shoot. Okay. So friends out there, what we're looking at for each person, some of us might have just picked at random the songs that we would expect or wish to find on a modern day best of. And some others, like I think maybe our buddy Leigh, I think maybe he had a rhyme or reason for the numerical order. So guys, if that's the case, we're going to start with you, Mark. If there's any rhyme or reason for the song inclusions for the order, let us know, and then we'll start with your initial pick, and then we'll go around the horn, you and then Leigh and then Rex and then me.
And
Mark,
so this isn't a ranking. We're just picking 15 songs.
Yep.
We're not ranking them. This is just, if we were allowed to pick a greatest hits from this era, what songs would we pick?
Yep. 15 songs in total. So Mark, we'll start with you. What would your initial pick be?
Well, I struggled trying to figure out how I should rank these. My original thought was, well, I'll rank them in my order of preference, but I don't want to do that because I don't want it to sound like some of these songs are lower on my list. And then I thought about doing them chronologically, and I said, no, I don't want to do that. So I just printed them out, put them in a empty shotgun shell box here, and I'm going to pull them at random. So I have no idea what my first one's going to be. Leigh knows
awesome.
to hold stuff up in front of the camera. So let's see what we get here for number one. All right.
I love that method.
So my number one is The Valley.
The Valley.
The goddamn Eagle.
All righty. Well, what made you stick that in the list? What hit it off with you?
just a heavy song. I mean, just, you know, the lyrics obviously mean a lot to me, being a Christian, obviously, and I just that's one of the standout tracks on that album. When I saw them in 2018, that was the second song they played, and as heavy as it sounds on the studio recording, it is much heavier live. And it's an awesome song for a live show. And I think it's worthy of being on that greatest hits album.
Yeah, it's a killer cut, definitely, and I look forward to getting to hear it live one day with Perry. I haven't had the chance to see him with Perry yet, so I look forward to that. Good choice. So, Leigh, what about you, buddy?
Can I just say I love the way that Mark's choosing those. I mean, I wish I had done that now. I'm gutted. I really am. But what I did is I picked my 15, so I just picked my 15 best, and then I put them in order of how I'd want to hear them on the album itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, spacing out the certain songs, and you know, because I think it's quite important sometimes how an album is, in the way, you know, in the way it starts off. You have to start it right, you have to end it right, you have to have all the bits in the middle right as well. So, anyway, I picked my first one. So I thought it has to be a rocker. And obviously, I'm not a huge fan of fast songs, as you know. So this ain't exactly fast, but it's as close as you probably get on my list. And it's King of Kings.
Okay.
So I just love that song. I think it's good how it's stuck on the end of, actually the end of Fallen, isn't it?
Yep.
It's the last song.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it works perfectly as an opener as well. So King of Kings, great rocker. You know, in my list of not many rockers really, I suppose, but that's just my preference, as you know. So King of Kings, my number one, a great track.
It is a great track. Good choice. Good choice. Rex, what about you, buddy?
Well, you know, when we were doing this, I was like, okay, 15 songs, you know, that's probably enough to pick from all these albums. And man, you start going through and you're just like, man, I got way more than 15 songs here when I was going through the albums. And so I just took the easy way out, and I'm kind of going chronologically. So for my first one is going to be Make You Mine from Reborn. Just a good, you know, mid-tempo song there. You know, it's one of my favorites from that album. So that's why I picked that one.
Okay. All right. So guys, you know, man, Leigh, sometimes our thinking scares me. I think we hit 7 out of the 13 sames yesterday. And
Yeah.
Guys, I just chose the songs that I liked best, that I really feel like would merit inclusion on a best of. I did, and some albums are going to be heavier than others as far as the inclusions. Once I had them put down, I kind of looked at filing them. I'm not saying ranking, but filing. And guys, I started to notice something. Like you, Leigh, I needed that strong lead-off track. And God provided that strong lead-off track. And I chose God because from the covering, it's heavy, it's driving, it's a gutsy rocker. At the end of God, what do we have at the end of God? We have a choir.
Mm.
Well, there's another song in Stryper's canon that begins with a choir. So big hint right there, okay? My number one is God. And I hinted at something else. And then, guys, I got to notice it. When I started looking at my songs, this loose concept started taking place. So I'm strictly doing a best of, but I'm going to also be talking about this loose concept thread that I found throughout these songs. So anyway, enough of that. God's my number one. We'll get to number two right now. Mark, we're at you, buddy. Shake that box.
Can I just say, you're just showing off now. You're just showing off doing a concept album. What's that all about, Mark?
Okay, my second pick is going to be Pride off of Fallen.
Cool.
That's just a nasty, heavy riff in that song.
Yes, it is.
It's such a heavy riff, it could be somebody other than Stryper. I mean, let's be honest, in the 80s, they had some heavy stuff in the 80s, but a lot of their stuff wasn't, what's the term I want to look for? I don't want to say grungy, because I don't mean grunge as far as, Pearl Jam. But in these later albums, they put some guts into some of these songs. And that riff in Pride, it's infectious. Unfortunately, I don't think they performed that song live. At least they hadn't the 2 times I've seen them since that album came out. Yeah, that's definitely got to be on my best of.
That's such a deep pocket groove in that song.
Yeah.
Good call, buddy. Good choice. Good choice. Leigh, we're up to you, buddy.
Right, Coach. So when I was looking at these, like I said, as if I want them to be how set out, I don't know why. If I actually think about it, my second tracks on lots of albums, including any band, are really strong. Sometimes my favourite song is the second song. I've noticed this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of albums start off with a rocker, and then they've got one of those great, brilliant, second songs. And for that reason, I've chosen one of my favourite songs on my whole list, actually, and that's the title track of Even the Devil Believes. So I just think it fits perfectly as a second song. So, I mean, I've said, I can't, how much I've said about this album itself, but I can't really say any more. But that song is just, first time I heard it, I thought it was special. But then it was a grower, as we spoke about the other day, and it got better and better and better, and it became, for me, a 10 out of 10 song. So that's my second track in his Even the Devil Believes.
That's a
Leigh,
good
has
track.
that one, I just wanted to ask Leigh, has that surpassed what was your previous favorite off of that album?
No, it still hasn't. It still hasn't. But it's very close.
Yeah.
And things can change in the future, can't they?
Yeah.
I am the master ranker, though, aren't I?
Absolutely.
I've heard that somewhere before. Oh
my.
Rex, buddy, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is from the Murder by Pride album, and that's 4-Leaf Clover. To me, that's the best song on that album. And as you have said before, Kent, you love the unicorn reference in there. So, I got to include that in my top 15 because of that,
That's right. That's right. And I also hear the tale told that Mark's a big fan of Charming in Sorry.
Yeah.
Told off by Michael Sweet, he was.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he appreciated that.
Oh, is that for real? Did Michael have something to say?
Yeah, he commented on that one.
Oh. Ooh. Well, Mark, it's been good to have you on the show. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
And all right, guys. So I forgot to say this about my number 1 pick. With God, that song presents a problem lyrically. This is how we get into the concept. God presents a problem lyrically. Hearts are weeping. Souls are keeping on ice. And then it says, have mercy on us, for we know not what we do. So it's a prayer. This person's in turmoil, and God answers in this song, and you guys know me with the Lord's name. I just say YHWH. That's my number 2 choice because God presents a problem, but the song ends in a choir. YHWH opens up with a choir, a perfect blend, but, well, I chose it because it's the band's modern epic. It's not just an anthem, it's an epic. And the song smokes, and so we had that segue, but you see, this is God answering that problem, that prayer of turmoil, you know, he is having mercy. He's answered this prayer through his sacrificial death to redeem us. So the cure and solution God has presented lyrically in this song, where Jesus, he said, "It is finished," and laid down his life. So the cure and the solution was given as a gift. Now the question is, we had a central character coming up in my storyline. The gift has been given, but what will our central character do with this gift? Will he receive it? And will this problem be resolved? So stay tuned for my number 3. So my number 2 is YHWH. Mark, you're number 3, buddy.
All right.
Shaking the box, shaking the box.
I love it. I love it.
The title track to Reborn. Even though I'm wearing the shirt, that's probably my least favorite Stryper album as a whole, but I absolutely love the title track. Again, I'll kind of repeat what I just said about Pride. It's just got that grungy sound to it. Not your typical high harmony Stryper song, but for the early 2000s when it came out, it was very impactful. I love the lyrics of that one, and it just that heavy groove. As you'll see, my list sort of gravitates toward the more heavy stuff. But yeah, love that one.
Mark, do you love the drums as much as Rex does on that album?
They sound a little dry, I guess I would say. But I guess that was just a sign of the times.
Yeah.
You know, let's be honest, they had kind of been out of the game for a while, and they were kind of trying to regain their footing and decide whether they should stay with that classic sound that, you know, that we probably expected,
right,
or go in a more modern direction to kind of be more contemporary. And I don't dislike the album. There are some other songs on it that I do enjoy, but yeah, toward the bottom of my list is where I'd have to put that album as a whole.
Gotcha. Leigh, what about you, buddy?
Does it scare you that you said the modern era is over 17 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling, isn't it?
I know. Anyway, so my third choice, and it was one of Rex's recent choices, was 4-Leaf Clover. So that's my third track on my album. I think it's the actual verses of this is my favourite part. I like the chorus as well, but I think the verses could be in any modern day Stryper album. That part of it, that riff, it just sounds like something off the new albums. But I think it's a standout track, just like Rex said, on that album, without a doubt for me, off Murder by Pride. Easily the standout track for me. I mean, I know it was a big improvement on the Reborn. It definitely was. But 4-Leaf Clover is a definite catchy, melodic. The drums are terrible though, still, for me. The drum sound improved, but not quite there. Production wasn't quite there at that point, but good track though.
It is, and I think, you know, 4-Leaf and also the title track from Murder by Pride, to me, those two songs would seem to really fit in, you know, with kind of more of the current Stryper material. Two really great songs there. Good choice, Leigh. Rex, what about you, buddy?
Well, this one might surprise you guys. Normally when anyone asks me to like pick a best of, and if a band has like a, you know, a covers album, I just strike that from the whole list. But ever since I first heard this song, and I didn't know a lot about them, and so I just was like, this song is incredible. And so my number 3 is from the covering album, and it's Heaven and Hell. I just, you guys people might comment bad about this, but I've listened to the original version, and I actually think Stryper's version is better. I don't know if it's the production part of it, but I play that and I just crank on that song. I think it might be the production is why I like it maybe a tad better than the original. But yeah, so that's my number 3.
I feel like
Are you first, Mark, with that?
It's their show, man. I don't want to get kicked off their show.
no. We appreciate honesty. Now, Mark, what are your thoughts about what you got?
It is a phenomenal version of that song. Absolutely top notch. In fact, the last time I saw them in 2019, they were playing a lot of covers at that show, and they did it. And live, it just blew me away because I never got to see. Well, I saw Dio solo perform that song, but I never got to see Dio with Black Sabbath perform that song. So even getting to hear Stryper do it live was just amazing to me. I can't say I like it better than the original because the original is just otherworldly. I think Leigh will probably concur with that. But yeah, it's an amazing version. I do love it. That's definitely my favorite cover on the covering.
Leigh, do you want to concur, or are you going to leave Mark hanging like a dangling carrot?
Well, the thing is, sticking up, I do prefer the original, but sticking up for Rex, and this goes for a lot of things, if that's the first time you hear something,
Right.
that's usually, Rex might have listened to that Heaven and Hell version a number of times before he actually got to hear the original. And sometimes, it's like I always say, when you fall upon a band, or a song or whatever, that means the most to you. Like, you know, if we take Stryper for instance, you know, if you first got into the band with No More Hell to Pay album, that was your first introduction, that'll always stick with you, that album. But you know, for me, round about To Hell with the Devil, you know, was when I got into him, so that holds a special place for me. So it does depend. It really depends. They're both great versions. Obviously, I do prefer the original. But, you know, what about if you switched it around and the Stryper one was the original and then Black Sabbath covered it? You would probably feel different. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, isn't it?
Good point. Good point.
Well, and as you guys know, and I need to check this out. I know this is going to air a long time from now, but you know, I'm not very well versed in Black Sabbath in general, so I think, like Leigh said, I think that's why too. Like, I listened to the Stryper version first, and I'm just like, whoa, you know. So I don't really have that history with Black Sabbath and all their music. So I think that's why I really latched onto the Stryper version.
Definitely. We're not going to go mad. Don't worry. It's fine. We're all friends here.
So on that note, I do concur with you, Mark, and you, Leigh. You know, Black Sabbath with RJD there, I mean, that's, you know, the quintessential version, of course, but also, Rex, in your corner as well, off of the covering, Heaven and Hell is my favorite cover that they did.
Yeah.
And as we all know, and also kind of, you know, being in your corner, I mean, you know, not that this is even an argument, but what I'm saying is, Rex, also to your point, I guess, is Stryper, something I've always appreciated about them, everything they do, especially in regard to paying homage to another band, it's top-notch quality. And they really did service to this song. And I appreciate that. You know, great cover version.
I think it's really cool as well, Rex, that you chose a cover. That's quite cool.
Yeah, I never even thought about choosing a cover, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate it that I think we're pretty much on the same page that that's probably the best song off that album, possibly. You know, I feel like I'm in good company. At least I picked the decent song there. But yeah, I love that it just starts out and I'm just like, man, you just want to bang your head and just rock out to that song. I love it.
You know, and ironically, and I think, Leigh, we mentioned this the other day, but even lyrically, which, and I've heard you say this, Mark, about After Forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first Christian metal song ever recorded was by Black Sabbath, you know. But a lot of Sabbath's lyrics, it's ironic, they fit into what Stryper's all about. And case in point is this song, you know, do me no wrong, you're a bringer of evil. The devil is never a maker. Anyway, I digress. We've got to truck along. Got to get Leigh to the church on time, folks. So, my number 3, guys, is Pride. So, deep killer groove. I don't need to say any more about it. Mark already nailed it. Pride just rocks. As for this, my storyline, this concept that I saw developing. So we went from the problem in God and the solution given to any who had received the gift in the next song, which was YHWH. Now, Pride, it reveals what the problem is. Let's see here. I can't see. Oh, the storyline tension. The problem is revealed. We let the mind control the heart, tearing the best we have apart. 2 friends who shared the past. No one could have guessed that it wouldn't last. Pride. So the problem revealed is pride. The original sin is found in Genesis 3:5, and of course in Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction and the fall. So what we're seeing here lyrically now in this song is there's some sort of destruction of life and relationship going on in this central character storyline. So we'll get to the rest of it with song 4. And Mark, your song 4 is up now, buddy.
All right. No more hell to pay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That song is just very, if I had ranked these by order of preference, that would have been very near the top. I just absolutely, that song is just flawless to my ears. I said a lot about it when Leigh and I did our show, but I can't remember exactly everything I said at that time, but it's just, there's nothing I would change about that song. It's just on another level. And,
I finally got it out. Excellent choice, Mark. What were you saying? I heard flawless and
yeah, that album as a whole, I think, put them back on the map. And that song was just, again, flawless. I can't say anything. I can't say I would change anything about that song.
Right.
I love the heavy. It's not a fast song, but it's, as Leigh says a lot of times, sometimes it's not the fastest songs that are the heaviest. It's a mid-tempo song, but it's got such a heavy groove to mirror, your words. Yeah. I love the drum sound on that one. We were talking about the drums on the Reborn Murder by Pride album. The drums are back to where they need to be on this album.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Sweet is in top form on this album.
Yep.
That song gives me shivers every time I listen.
Yeah, it's a top-notch song and a top-notch album. I don't think anybody would rebuttal No More Hell to Pay being on the best of. So, good choice. Leigh?
Well, okay, so in my best of album, we've had a few heavy tracks. We've got to get to the ballad now, haven't we? You have the first ballad of the album, and it's off the same album that Mark's just mentioned, No More Hell to Pay, and it's one of my top ballads from Stryper, The One. Absolutely. This is as good as anything, they've done ballad-wise, if not in total. I just love that song, the melody running through that chorus. I just think it's got so much feeling in it. It's just like that same feeling I got when I used to listen to First Love, like that real emotion in that. And The One does that to me, and it doesn't do it to everyone. I mean, I've noticed there was a show you had with someone, and it really didn't ring true with someone on your channel. I was listening to it, and I was thinking he said he had a problem with it because it sounded like something older.
Yeah, it was Blue Bleeds Through. From a Michael Sweet solo album. And I think that's why The One didn't register, because he had previously associated that with Blue Bleeds Through. Now, case in point to your Heaven and Hell with Rex, see, I'd never heard Blue Bleeds Through. I believe is that on Truth, Mark?
Yeah, it is.
I'd never heard Blue Bleeds Through. And so I thought a whole lot about the song The One. I dig it. I can see why it's on your list. That said, I've gone back and I've listened to Blue Bleeds Through, and I still think The One buries it. You know? Anyway, back to you and The One, Leigh.
Yeah, I just think it's right up there with the, you know, obviously on my best of, I'm a big ballad fan. Not power ballads, there's no such thing, but ballads. But ballads, I've got to have a couple on the best of. I would on any band that does ballads, I would have some ballads on there, unless they just couldn't do a ballad, and Stryper obviously can. But you know, they're a big part, I think, of rock music. You know, ballads. They always have been since. Obviously, I'm an '80s kid, so all of them bands used to do ballads, didn't they? Yeah. When you was growing up, and I think you know you do a good one now. You know, it probably takes a bit more effort now to make it a bit different because they all sounded very similar ballads back in the '80s, all them '80s bands. But the one is sort of got a bit of rock to it as well, isn't it? A ballad with teeth, Mark.
There you go.
A ballad with teeth.
That's the term. That's the term.
Yeah. That's my number 4. That yeah, my 4th tracking.
And that's a good pick. Good pick. Rex, what's your number 4?
It's the same as Mark's. No More Hell to Pay. That was up until recently my favorite Stryper song. I mean that just like Mark said, you know, that whole album, you knew Stryper was back. You know, the production was even better than in the 80s. So yeah, that song is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's a great song. Guys, my number 4, it's the one that got Mark in trouble, evidently. It's Sorry. I chose it. Well, it's in this order for a reason, of course, but just I love the way it's introduced with the little drum rolls and the lingering guitar. It's different. It has this crunchy punch, this chugging crunchy punch riff to it, catchy chorus. So in the storyline, you know, what's happening now? So our central character, he's got this problem, which is pride, the previous song, and he's kind of being convicted about it now. The Holy Spirit's kind of whispering to him, and he's like, "Hey, man, you know, sorry doesn't always make it starry. Better change your direction and start a new crusade." And so this is where we have this tension. You know, he's wrestling with himself. He realizes he can't just say that he's sorry in this strained relationship that he's in. There has to be, repentance, kind of doing an about face, make it right, turn from destruction. So that's where we're at by happenstance in this loose concept. So my number 4 is Sorry.
Great song.
Rolling on to number 5, guys. Mr. Mark. Love the box.
All right, I'm gonna pick one of Kent's. God. That song to me paved the way for the brilliance that was coming on the next album and the next 4 albums. As Leigh and I discussed on his show, Reborn to me was a bit of a misstep. Murder by Pride was a big step in the right direction. But that one song, God, to me, put them back on the map for where they needed to be, took them in the direction they needed to go, and that I think most fans wanted them to go. I don't know if either one of you guys remember, but I mentioned on Leigh's channel that they originally released an instrumental version of that. Not, they didn't officially release, it's not on an album, but they released a teaser of just the music. They didn't have any lyrics. I don't even remember if they had a title of the song yet, but they released that just as a teaser when they were getting ready to release the covering. And when I heard that, I was like, yes, this is the Stryper that I know and love. They've got their vision back. I don't know what the song's going to sound like with lyrics, but I'm not a big instrumental guy, but that song could have stood on its own as an instrumental. I've tried to find it recently on YouTube to see if it was still there, the instrumental version. I can't find it now, but they teased with it was the full song with just no lyrics. And as soon as I heard that, I knew they were back and that they were going in the right direction. And it paved the way so well for No More Hell to Pay.
I agree wholeheartedly, Mark, that, we got Murder by Pride, which was Stryper's Return. Reborn, which was Stryper's Return. Murder by Pride, it's kind of like when Reborn hit, it was almost like, I don't know how else to describe it, almost like a probationary period. Is this going to work or not? I mean,
Yeah.
Stryper was back.
Yeah.
We were thankful.
Yeah.
Murder by Pride, we saw progress after they'd come back, but I think it became official. The official comeback of Stryper, that stamp was God.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, wholeheartedly concur with everything you said there. Leigh, what's your number 5, buddy?
My number 5 is actually it's been chosen by a couple of you already. It's No More Hell to Pay. So it's funny how like Mark pulled it out of the box and Rex is sort of very close to each other. We're mentioning this one, yeah. I mean, everything you said, guys. I'm a big mid-tempo fan. This is even slow to mid-tempo. It's got that real, like, cool, like, tempo to this.
Yeah.
And a brilliant solo, eh, Mark? One of your favourite solos as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that's Michael Sweet on that solo, and it sends chills up my spine.
A cool video to go along with it as well. You know, you can't get wrong being in a desert, can you? You know what I mean? No, brilliant song. That is just an amazing song. Absolutely amazing. And that is proper, those little intricate guitar bits, going over the rhythm guitar, those little fiddly bits are just what you used to hearing it on Soldiers, them real, like, you're thinking, like, how do they make them sounds? I used to think back then. Obviously, you're a bit more grown up now, but it still sounds amazing. A brilliant song, No More Hell to Pay. That's my number 5. Man.
It truly is a brilliant one. Rex, what about you, buddy? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is from still the album No More Hell to Pay, but kind of a song that no one really talks a whole lot about, but the song is Sticks and Stones. Just, yeah, kind of a mid-tempo song. I just really like it. The chorus is really good. The background vocals in the chorus is superb. It just, like I said, just a good rocker song, mid-tempo for me.
Yeah, that's a good song. I was actually listening to that just a couple days ago. It is a good tune. Guys, my number 5 is Revelation. A lot like No More Hell to Pay. I kind of view those in a way as kind of like almost like twins or something. They just go hand in hand, and I think it has to do with that great heavy mid-paced groove that they have. As far as my storyline here, this concept, Sorry revealed this need to, the problem was seen, and there's a need to turn around and turn from it and to make right this strained relationship. The lyrics here, again, the Spirit is still kind of the Spirit of Christ, actually, the Holy Spirit. He's telling this central character, you're out of time, so make it right. There's a revelation that's coming after you. Without hesitation, it's going to bring the truth. So now our central character's eyes are opened. He's recognized this need to make it right. The problem has been revealed to him, hence the title of the song, Revelation. So we'll get to the next portion in song number 6, but first we're going to go back. We're back to Mark. Shaken, not stirred, baby.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I think Leigh will approve of this one. Do unto others.
Yeah.
By far my favorite song on Even the Devil Believes. Again, I think Leigh will concur with that one. Just very modern sounding, but still has that, that obvious Stryper sound, but very impactful lyrics. Whether you're a Christian or not, those lyrics ring through, or at least they should. You always want to be treated well, so do unto others. Obviously, it's a beautiful song. Again, a mid-tempo, not real fast, but again, Michael's solo in this one is just otherworldly. He just does not get the respect he deserves as a guitar player. I mean, everybody talks about his vocals, and his vocals are, spot on, but he just does not get the respect he deserves as a lead guitarist.
Yeah, he's a superb lead guitarist, and the first time I ever noticed his superbness, because for some reason I just always, in the early days of Stryper, I just thought it was all odds.
Yeah, I did too.
But when I saw them in concert, especially during the To Hell with the Devil tour, I'm like, man, Michael's a heck of a lead player as well, And
Right.
What's funny about Do Unto Others, and of course it's a superb song. Perry's story. You ever heard the term, it only takes a spark to get a fire going, or in Leigh's case, a little hot chocolate with marshmallows. It's funny how Michael, I think he was texting the guys, if I'm not mistaken, from Perry's story. Help me if I'm remembering wrong, Rex, but Perry was telling us, I think Michael just texted him around, hey guys, you got any song titles you want to throw out there? And Perry's like, how about Do Unto Others, and Make Love Great Again. And of course, Michael wrote the lyrics and everything and the music, but it was that spark that Perry had. Just that little throwback text. How about Do Unto Others? And that's an anthem, man. I mean, it's a killer tune. So interesting how all that stuff develops. Great song, Mark. And Leigh, we're up to your number 6, buddy.
Well, it just so happens my number 6 is Do Unto Others. Thank you very much. Weird that, but
Didn't mean to steal your thunder there.
no, mate. No, I'm glad. I mean, all I'd say, that solo, you're totally right about that guitar solo. It's almost classical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that solo. It's just, and just one other thing about the song. You know what I think about it. At the moment, I think it's the best song they've ever done. But it had that real sadness about the song, the chorus, that chorus. It's just such a heavy, the verses are heavy as anything. But the chorus has a real sadness, melancholy, as I like to say, to it, And then, of course, when the video came out, and and you're seeing the guys in the band, and what Ozzy's going through and all that, it even made it even more so, even more melancholy and sad. And I've never known a video. Videos usually put me off of songs, if anything. The visual thing. I usually, especially now, because bands don't really bother, do they? Half the time, they're usually lyric videos, or it's just them playing in a field or whatever it is. But to see that video and put a bit of effort into a video for once, like a rock band doing that, and the visuals in it, people helping each other, the part where, I don't know if it was meant, when Michael points at Oz about wasting a day and all that, and I just think it was the perfect song at the perfect time. Great song. Do Unto Others is my number, is it 6? We're up to 6. Yeah, number 6.
Yeah, I remember that scene that you're talking about, and Oz was back there. It's like he was concurring with Michael. I mean, remember he was, you know, excellent video, excellent song. Rex, you're number 6, buddy.
Well, actually, it's your least favorite song from this album, Water into Wine. But the intro is incredible. Another song from No More Hell to Pay that, you know, just maybe it's just because there's so many great songs on that album. I don't know, but you know, that's another song I really like, and it's pretty crunchy sounding. You know, it's
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's right up there. So that's my number 6.
So I think Rex is just choosing everything you don't like. He's got the unicorn already. The unicorn's been brought up.
Yeah, that's my plan, Leigh.
Oh, shoot. All right, guys. Number 7 for me. No, I need to do number 6. Divider. Very frenetic intro. I love it. And then we get into that undeniable main riff, man. Dun, 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 you know, like Judas Priest territory or something. And then great gang vocals. Anyway, Divider, great song. I placed it where I did in this because after the problem has been revealed to our central character, he recognizes what the divider is, the problem. He recognizes this problem he's having of pride, this sin. And he's like, you know, the lyrics say, this is like our central character talking, a fighter in every way, all your lies won't make me sway. And so he is addressing the problem after it's revealed to him. In other words, he's confronting his Achilles heel that is destroying his relationship with another character we'll get to in our story. So that's my number 6 is Divider. Moving ahead, Mark, number 7. Pull out a shell.
The title track, Murder by Pride. Yeah, I agree. 4-Leaf Clover, I struggle between those two. I love both of those. Murder by Pride, like I said, that album was a big step forward from Reborn, and that song just kind of registered with me. Love the sound of it. Again, it's got elements of old Stryper, but elements of new Stryper as well. And you could see the positivity that was coming. You know, again, it was a step forward from Reborn. You could tell they were going in the right direction by this point. Just kind of gave you a taste of what was to come.
Yep. Yeah, great song, Murder by Pride. Probably the most classic Stryper sounding song from that album, with 4-Leaf Clover right in there too. I'm surprised that the unicorn didn't sway you over to that, Mark, you know, but Mr. Leigh, number 7, buddy.
Okay, well, I've got Mark to thank for this one. So, God is my number 7. So, I did hear God. I did hear the covering album, obviously, way back. And we've had a conversation about the covering. And I'd rather hear Stryper original material any day of the week, you know. So way back then when the covering came out, I listened to it. I must have listened to God, but I didn't listen to it for a long time. And then Mark messaged me and just mentioned it, or you put a comment on YouTube. I can't remember what it was now. And then I went back and listened to it, and man, it just does. He's right. It just fits in right with the stuff that's happening now, and it's become one of the top songs, I think, for myself. You know, it's a great song. Sounds complex as well. You know, I love the way it sort of comes to a halt with Michael's vocals. You know, I think that's a great part of it. It'd be interesting to know if it was an actual instrumental, or they just took the vocals away for that teaser, Mark. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah, obviously.
story behind it. But.
Yeah, because it, you know, it'd be. I could imagine it being hard, having an instrumental song, thinking it's an instrumental, then putting words to it would be quite difficult. You'd think you'd have to work it from the beginning to be an actual song, wouldn't you? But, you know, with lyrics. But thanks for that, mate. And many others that you've suggested to me other than Stryper stuff. So I really do appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah, and one of the best things about doing the channel is finding new music, you know. And I've found as much as I suggest stuff to people, I get stuff back, which is great. So there you go. God is my number 7.
Good choice, Leigh. And Leigh, was Mark the one who suggested the Carpenters to you? You being a fan?
No. Will not take the blame for that one.
And Culture Club as well, and Erasure as well.
Good choice with God. Rex, what's your number 7, buddy?
Yeah, we're up to the Fallen album for me now, and my number 7 is Yahweh. I don't know what more can be said about that song. Actually, I do agree with you, Kent, that is definitely the new anthem or trademark song, or whatever you want to call it, from this era, and just a classic song, just a masterpiece.
Well, and yeah, Rex, we're on the same page here, of course. But guys, I actually made this discovery just the other day, with YHWH being on Fallen. Some great songs on GDE, but I don't think there were any epics or anthems, so to speak. Like, to me, Soldiers is an anthem. To Hell with the Devil is a Stryper anthem, meaning a hallmark song. When you think of Stryper, your mind pretty much automatically goes there. To me, there was Soldiers first, then To Hell with the Devil, YHWH. But now I also feel like there could be another one, which is I think Do Unto Others. I mean, honestly, I think that's one that's really, maybe Make Love Great Again would be a close second under Do Unto Others, but I really think Do Unto Others has kind of become something that people, anyway, but I digress. Good choice, Rex. Good song, certainly. My number 7, guys, is Make Love Great Again. Very strong song. Love Perry's great rumbling bass intro into that. It was something totally different. Strong mid-tempo rocker with a cool riff. And in my storyline here, this loose concept, the problem has been recognized by our central character. And how he is addressing it first is inside, personal repentance. As the lyrics say in Make Love Great Again, I've been trying to get it right. Tears I'm crying dark as night. Make love great again. Fight for it till the end. And in the next song, guys, we will see how he is going to fight for this love until the end.
It goes on and on and